I'm back for another night in with Essential, and tonight is a rather hot topic which we're constantly getting asked about, and it's all about acne. I'm also going to touch on maskne as well. So while I just tag, I'm going to be joined by Roche-Posay, and everybody knows how incredible Janette is when it comes to sort of these scientific skincare topics. Hi everybody. So I'm so excited to get her on and explain a little bit more about acne and why everybody seems to be breaking out at the moment. I'm just finishing typing in a title. Give me 2 seconds. How is everybody? I hope everyone has had a lovely Thursday. We don't usually do lives on a Thursday. Wow, my arm is aching after that. I'm just going to say hello to a few people who've joined. Obviously last night I was with Bare Minerals, but tonight, Lisa, yes, I've got all of my products ready to go through. I may even take all of my makeup off and pop the Ethaclar mask on as well. Probably will do that, just so we can get right up and personal. And you can all see my blemishes as well, because my skin is not great at the moment. I'm going to invite her in. Hopefully the sound doesn't break or anything goes wrong. Let me know.
Hi,
Hiya.
Chelsey. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I look like a floating head.
I'm just thinking, do I need to change mine around? Back. You've had your hair done, Janette.
Do you know, I think the last time I'd seen you, hairdresser still hadn't opened. So my hair
Yes.
was quite long and it was quite grey. So finally, I
It looks lovely. Looks really nice. I love the blonde.
Yeah,
How
do you
are
know,
you?
it's helping to disguise the grey, Chelsey.
Oh
Needs
no,
must.
it looks lovely. How are you doing?
I'm really well. How are you? It's just been too long.
I know. Yeah, things are good. Just really busy, and I guess, it's back in that kind of uncertain time again. So I think it's
Yeah.
really affecting people's skin as well, from what I can see and hear.
Absolutely. I think like skin has just been such a hot topic throughout this entire pandemic.
Yeah.
People are taking more interest in taking care of their skin, but also they're noticing lots of new pathologies develop on their skin that they haven't had before, such as maskne. So I'm
Yes.
delighted to be here to talk about it because we've got lots of great products in the Ethaclar range from La Roche-Posay
Yeah.
that will really help to manage your oily acne prone skin or maskne. And also I think with this range, it's not the easiest range to navigate. So there's
No.
4 different moisturizers. So when you've got kind of oily acne prone skin and you're faced with 4 different moisturizers, you're like, how do I
Which
choose
one?
which one?
I know. And
And
you've got
so
the brand new serum as well, which is so
we have a
exciting.
fabulous new serum, which I'm dying to tell you all about. It's a game changer, and it could not have launched at a better
I
time.
know. You guys tend to always time it so right, which is great.
Yeah, no, it's super. It's really, really great.
So, Jeanette, where do we start in this crazy world of acne,
Yeah,
maskne, hormonal acne, cystic acne? I think, like, what is acne?
acne.
Who's got
Yeah.
acne? How do you know if you've got acne?
So look, when it comes to acne, the first thing I will say is acne is very common. So
Yeah.
it affects 80 to 85% of teenagers. And then when
Hmm.
it comes to adults, and in particular adult women, it affects up to 40% of adult women as well, which
Wow.
is huge. And actually the pathology, it really is the same for both. So acne is an overproduction of oil. So your skin
Hmm.
starts to produce too much oil. It's hormonally driven. So you start to produce too much oil, and then your dead skin cells that you should be shedding on a daily basis get stuck in that oil. They block the
Yeah.
pore, and then the primary lesion is a blackhead. So that's the primary lesion of acne. That's where it all starts. So once that pore gets blocked, there's kind of two little lesions that can develop. One is a blackhead, and then the other one is a microcyst, which essentially is the same as a blackhead, but there's a layer of skin over it. Like that's something that's quite common now with maskne, and I don't know if the light is even good enough. Like I have a few microcysts here on top of my cheeks, and they're just little bumps under your skin, just like trapped oil under your skin. So like the blackhead, the pore would be open, whereas when it's a microcyst, the pore is closed. It's just a little layer of skin. So people might be noticing on their skin that they've got blackheads, but then they've got these other bumps. They're not sore, they're not red, they're just a tiny little like bump, like trapped oil in the pore. So they're the primary lesion. So that's how it starts. And then bacteria can get into that pore, and then that can cause a more inflammatory spot on the skin. So that's when you start to see the likes of, they're called a papule. Most people have probably had one in their life. It's a sore red spot. I don't know if you've ever had one of those, Chelsey. It's just a sore red spot under your skin.
It's got no head on it.
Yes.
Not be real, but I'm gonna say it.
So even if you were tempted to go at it, you can't, because it's literally just one of those sore bumps under the skin. And sometimes, you know, they can be so sore you'd nearly have a headache from them. So they're papules. And then you've got pustules, which speaks for itself. It's your pus-filled spot. So that really is acne in a nutshell. And then in terms of acne, there are different grades. So it's not a one size fits all, which is why I'm so happy to be on here tonight to talk about this with you, because it's good that we talk about routines and what like different people now who are listening or who might watch it after, that they can be like, oh, actually, that sounds a little bit more like me, because there is so many kind of different like grades of it. But when it comes to teenagers, you tend to see it like more or less all over the face. You know, it can be forehead, cheeks, chin, neck, everywhere. But when it comes to adults, and in particular for women, we tend to see it around the chin, the jawline, and the neck. And we call it hormonal acne, but all acne is hormonal. And that's just kind of like the name that was given. Yeah, but it's actually late onset adult acne. And late onset adult acne can happen for a number of different reasons. Like you could have gone through your entire teens spot-free, never had a spot. And then maybe late 30s, you start to develop spots on your skin. And it could be due to, we know it's obviously due to hormonal fluctuations in the body. So it could be due to pregnancy. It could be post-pregnancy. A lot of time it could be due to stress as well, because stress does affect the hormonal balance within the body. And our testosterone, which is a hormone that women also have, stimulates the sebaceous gland, the oil gland within your skin. So it could be stress related as well, or it could be a medical problem. So it's really, but that's kind of where we tend to see it more with women. It's our jawline, it's our chin, it's our neck.
I'm tempted, Janette, to take my makeup off and show my chin. I'm going to do it. I'm going to brave it. Why not?
And even for some women, they might find that for them, it's more linked to their menstrual cycle. So, you know, at the start of our cycle, the kind of dominant hormone is estrogen. And at the end of our cycle, the dominant hormone is progesterone. But just before menstruation, the most dominant hormone is testosterone. And that's the androgen, the male hormone that triggers the oil gland. So for women who get breakouts around that time of the month, that could be why.
Now, this is where you see the real colour of my skin.
I would be exactly the same.
But you can see, I'm covered. And Janette, you've got me really intrigued about that skin over the top of blackhead.
Yeah,
I'd love to. I don't hear that term enough.
So I would say microcysts and blackheads, basically it's the same lesion. The only difference is that with the blackhead, the pore is open and the top of the oil oxidizes and it goes black on the very top.
Right.
Whereas the other, you've literally just a thin layer of skin that's covering the sebum that's blocked in the pore, and it actually makes it more difficult to get out of the skin.
That's the one. I know those ones.
Yes, yeah. And
Now you
friction, they
mention
can
it.
be caused like by friction. So I know, obviously, I think maskne is probably right now the most searched term, skincare term.
Just crazy, isn't it?
And so many of us, of course, are suffering with it because obviously we've got to wear our lovely masks on a daily basis, and some wearing them more than others. But I even noticed, Chelsey, like I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm working from home. I'm not out about that much. I think the longest I've had to wear a mask for was 4 hours. But at
Oh,
that,
wow, that is lucky.
I saw, like, I literally the next day started to have bumps underneath my skin. And when it comes to maskne, the medical term for that is acne mechanica. So there's different types of acne. So the medical term is acne mechanica. And acne mechanica is caused by friction. So friction and heat. So it's often actually, it's kind of associated with sports as well. Like people who wear, say, a helmet, or even a cyclist, for example, someone who's wearing a helmet where maybe the straps are kind of rubbing off their skin and it's also quite warm, or baseball caps, if you're wearing them for a long time, you might develop acne mechanica all up here on the forehead, but you can develop it anywhere on the face. And basically what it is, it's friction. And then the friction actually stimulates your oil glands, so you start to produce more oil. And then in this case with the mask, so you've got the friction from the mask, but then you've also got the heat and you've got the sweat, and it's a breeding ground for bacteria.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Which is why
so it's not a new term. Well,
no, maskne is like the term, but
is a
actually,
new one, but the problem.
Yeah, the medical kind of explanation, like what it is, it's acne mechanica. So then with the likes of the mask, that's why it's so important that either use a disposable one like this, or if you're wearing the likes of these cotton ones, that we change them every single day. Because otherwise you're literally just putting that dirty mask back on that's just going to feed that bacteria and just cause the problem to worsen.
Awful. I mean, I've had so many people, and people who've never suffered before with blemishes, and it must be such a confidence shock. I do really feel for people. Yeah,
well, that's it, especially as you say, the likes of maskne, this could be happening. You don't have to have oily skin for this to happen. This is literally just happening anybody right now. And especially I really feel for people who are wearing masks for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. That must be like really, really tough for them. On the plus side though, we do have great products, and we do have good routines that can really help to manage this problem and really help people get their skin back to a more normal balance and prevent these breakouts from happening. For you, Chelsey, where are you finding yourself as being the most kind of problem area around your...
Yeah, so I'm constantly, I'm sure you can see them, just right underneath the chin.
Okay.
Let me...
yes.
Can you see?
Yeah. So exactly. So you've got like you have the combination of the likes of the retentional, the bumps underneath the skin, but also then some of those like papules coming through as well. So you are going to be the ideal customer for the new Ethaclar Serum from Roche-Posay. So this is a serum that you use at nighttime. So what you do is you cleanse your skin. So I think as a part of a skincare routine, and especially as a part of managing your skin with maskne, cleansing your skin is always the most important step. But here you might even want to start doing a double cleanse. So if you don't already, do a double cleanse, especially if you're wearing masks a lot, you're wearing them all day for a prolonged period of time. And if you have any makeup underneath there as well, you definitely want to be giving your skin a good double cleanse. So I would recommend that what I tend to use as a double cleanse from Effaclar is we have the Effaclar micellar water.
This is what I've just been using.
Yeah,
It feels so fresh, my
it's
skin.
it's a really nice one. So it has zinc. So zinc is really good for oil. And so zinc is going to help with absorbing that excess oil. And also you have glycerin in the product. And glycerin is hydrating as well. And
Yeah,
then the thermal water. So that's why you feel that lovely freshness on your
yeah, it
skin as
feels
well.
nice and fresh.
So the reason it's good to do the double cleanse is what this will do is it's going to break down all the makeup if you've SPF on your skin and any kind of build-up of impurities from the day. This will just remove that all in a quick wipe for you. And then I would recommend that you follow and wash your face with the Ethaclar Purifying Cleansing Gel.
Now, I have the two. I've got the peeling
Yes.
purifying gel and then the Effaclar wash. So I know this one. I always use this one. So this is the one that we're going with. You would
That's
suggest.
the one. Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
that's the one. So that's your facial wash. So that's just used with water, just tepid water as well. When you've got like oily, acne-prone skin, and in general for skin, don't use water that's too hot. You're so brave.
I know. I don't know how I do this, to be honest, but if it makes someone at home feel more comfortable,
Exactly.
then
Yeah.
I'm doing my job.
Yeah. So then you've got, with the purifying gel, again, this one, you do have zinc as well to help with the oil control, but you do also have in here, along with zinc, it's soap free. So it shouldn't dry. I just noticed a comment there. Someone said that they use this and it dried the skin. So that just tells me then that you're not oily enough for it. So along with the zinc, you have citric acid, and citric acid is an AHA. And what citric acid is good for, and the reason I like this product is because it's good for open pores. So citric acid has like an astringent action, a tightening action. So that's also in the product. So use that, massage it into the skin, add water. Sometimes I like to just kind of lather it gently in my hands first, and then I massage it into the skin and then rinse away.
Well,
so a good double cleanse. And then,
sorry, Janette, I am following.
Okay.
I'm just grabbing some water. So I'm just going to wash my face with this.
Yeah. And maybe whilst you're washing your face, let me just explain the difference between the two of these. Because as you said, that's it. Perfect. You're very familiar with using this one. You've used this one before, and this is really...
I use it on my body as well because my back and my chest are awful.
Yeah. So this is the one that people would probably know. If they know the range, they'd know it the most. And then earlier in the year, we launched the Effaclar Micro Peeling Gel. So the difference here is that this one contains salicylic acid, and it contains 2% salicylic acid. So for skincare, such as La Roche-Posay, Dermocosmetics, 2% is the highest you can go in skincare for salicylic acid. And this one is more suited, Chelsey, if you've got, say, oily skin, oily, shiny skin with lots of bumps, lots of blackheads on the skin.
I feel like that's me as well.
So it's really good, and also it's excellent for acne. So
that's definitely
salicylic acid will work really, really well for that. So very much, you've got a lot of retention under your skin, a lot of bumps under that aren't coming to a head due to the 2% salicylic acid. That's going to help to bring that out of the skin for you and to smooth the skin as well.
Yeah, I tried this week and I expected it to be gritty.
Ah, yes, because it says micro peeling.
It wasn't.
Yes.
But I love it definitely feels fresher on the skin, more cooling than the original.
Yes.
I prefer the after feel of the new peeling one because it feels like I've really deep cleansed, yeah.
And what that is menthol. So that lovely fresh feeling that you're getting, there's menthol in the product. So really, when people have acne and they're more inflammatory spots on the skin, I tend to veer more towards the gel. When it's more retentional under the skin, then I tend to veer more towards the micro peeling instead.
Interesting. So in my head, I'm thinking I'm already pairing maybe the peeling lotion with K.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. But I'll let you lead, Jeanette.
Yeah.
You're the expert.
No, but that's, yeah, that's really, really good, Chelsea. So you've cleansed your skin. Um, then obviously because it's nighttime, for nighttime, that's when we would recommend the Ethaclar Serum. Do you have
Yeah.
one of these, Chelsea?
I haven't got my hands on it yet,
Ah,
but I'm sure after this live, it's going to be going straight in my basket.
you're going to love it. This is
Yeah.
absolutely going to be, you're like the ideal candidate for this
That's
product.
so good because
Um,
I'll be honest, Jeanette, I wouldn't have thought that unless you told me tonight.
Yeah. So let me just explain a little bit about why this is such a game changer and such a hero product. Already it's only launched and already
I'm
we even have
vulnerable. Sorry, Jeanette.
we'll get a mask on really
I
quickly in a
know. Let
second.
me get the mask on.
So Ethaclar Serum, it is a combination of 4 different acids, okay? So what you have in there is when you have acne, a key acid to look for is salicylic acid. So this
Yeah.
is 1.5% salicylic acid, good active percentage. And what
Yeah.
that is, so salicylic acid, just to break it down for people, it's called a BHA, a beta hydroxy acid, and it's lipophilic, so it likes oil. So that's why for oily skin, it's really good because what it will do is it will be attracted to those oily areas of the skin and it can get right into the pore. And then it starts to clear out the pore. So that's what
Yeah.
helps to clear the acne and the blockages. It also contains 3.5% glycolic acid. So
Okay.
glycolic acid is an AHA, so an alpha
Yeah.
hydroxy acid, and they're generally your fruit acids. And the difference is this is hydrophilic, it's water loving, so it doesn't go as deep into the pore as the salicylic acid, but it exfoliates the skin on the surface. So both salicylic and glycolic acid, they both essentially exfoliate your skin. It's just that the salicylic gets right into the pore,
Okay.
which makes it really beneficial for acne. And then we
Oh,
also
Jeanette, I could
have
listen to you for hours.
we also have a little guy. I always call this ingredient a little guy. I have no idea why. Don't know why. It's a patented ingredient, a L'Oreal patented ingredient
Is
called
it
L.
LHA?
Yes. And
Yes.
this little guy, it's like, for me, Pac-Man. I always think of it like Pac-Man. It's a
Yeah.
cell by cell exfoliation, but it's really well tolerated for sensitive skin. And when we think about acne and maskne and so on, there is an element here of sensitivity to your skin
Yeah.
because the barrier of your skin is broken. So the LHA is really nice, really gentle. And again, it's there to smooth, to clear the pore and to smooth. And
Yeah.
finally, the last acid in there is called citric. The same citric is in this wash here. Another
Right.
AHA, and citric is excellent for open pores. It's really astringent, so it's tightening. So it's brilliant because what you're doing, you're clearing out the pores, you're smoothing
Yeah.
on the surface, and then you're tightening them back up, which I just absolutely love this concept. And even when you do get your hands on it, Chelsea, honestly,
Yeah.
after the first night, the next morning, when you touch your skin, it feels so soft. I had read before I'd gotten the product myself, was reading some of like the clinical studies on it, and it was like 86% of those who had tried it felt their skin smoother the next morning.
Oh,
So I was
wow.
really intrigued. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So the
Need to
next
try
morning I was like, and honestly,
it.
really smooth. And then, of course, look, it wouldn't be a La Roche-Posay serum if it didn't have a soothing aspect to it. So
Yeah.
although we've got like the acids in there to be really active and clean out the pores and smooth the skin, we have niacinamide at 2%, which is vitamin B3.
Nice. Another
And that's
buzzy ingredient.
niacinamide, like for La Roche-Posay, we've used it a lot. A lot of our products contain niacinamide and
Yeah.
have done for years. And yet now today it's become a more popular ingredient. We're hearing more about it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those like wonder ingredients that does so much. It's naturally anti-inflammatory. So that's why niacinamide is good for, again, acne skin because it's an inflammatory skin condition. So it's
Yeah.
very, very soothing on the skin as well. So you're going to, when you use the serum, for anyone who's listening now as well, you just use it in the nighttime, and you can use maybe like, can you see? Yeah.
Let me hide the comments for this one so everyone can see it just a little bit better.
And let me just do that again. So you're just going to use, a pipette should be enough.
Okay.
A pipette should really be enough, and it's so light on the skin. It absorbs like really quickly. And then when you apply it, just be vigilant of your lips and all around your eye, because the skin here is so much thinner than the rest of the face. It will dry it out. So if you put it there, it's going to dry. So just literally apply it everywhere. And then
I guess treat it a little bit like you would the retinol serum.
Absolutely.
Perhaps.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just apply it everywhere. Avoid eyes, avoid lips, and then you're done. Now, if you're really oily, so for me, for example, I am super oily. Like my skin just literally pours oil, and it's so moisturizing that I don't need to use anything on top of that. I can use that serum night after night after night, and I don't need anything else. If you're using it because of maskne, and say you haven't previously had oily skin, right now you've developed maskne and that's the reason you're using it, you might need some extra hydration on top of it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be that person, Janette. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, so, and that's absolutely fine. And you know what could be really good to use if you want to stick within a kind of serum team, because you can layer serums as well.
I was going to ask.
Could be really nice is Hyla B5.
Amazing. I was going to get to this and ask, where does it sit if you do use the other serums? Should you avoid it if you use retinol?
Yeah, so like Hyla B5 is the main serum that I would recommend that could be partnered with it, because Hyla B5 is all about pure skin hydration, just getting the hydration levels up with the hyaluronic acid. Whereas there would be no need to use this and retinol together. So don't combine it with other acids. So I wouldn't recommend it to be used with retinol, nor would I recommend it to be used with the vitamin C10. Because that's 10% pure vitamin C, and there's also like it's I think it's 1.5% salicylic acid in there as well. So you don't want to be combining those serums together. So the main serum,
even in the morning and in the night, just don't.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, okay.
And then because it is because they're acids, it's like any other acid. When you use an acid-based product in the morning, you're going to want to use some protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think, again, like the invisible fluid, it is just such a fab sun protection product. You know, we spoke about this a few times, Chelsey. But look how light it is.
It's so thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely
so
weightless.
Light. So really, really breathable for the skin. Obviously, it's non-comedogenic, as they all are. So that's the ideal product. Then the next morning, cleanse your skin again, and then you could literally just use your sunscreen, and then at nighttime use your Ethaclar Serum.
So obviously we know the icon of the Effaclar range is Duo Plus.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people watching. Would you recommend that the morning after as well?
So, really good question. So for that routine, if you wanted to use Duo Plus, and let's say, for example, you're already using it and you're like, well, I love it and I don't want to take it out of my routine. Yes, is the answer. So you could have your Effaclar Serum at nighttime and then Effaclar Duo Plus during the day, but you still need to have SPF. Now, Effaclar Duo Plus, there is one with an SPF 30.
Yeah, we have that one.
Or you could put this SPF 50.
Oh, yeah. One of our favourites at Essential.
Exactly. Like, it's such a fab product. So that's your spray. And that's actually quite nice because you put on your moisturiser and then literally just spray with the SPF over your face.
Nice. Now, Janette, I've got to get a mask on soon.
Okay. So,
but
a favourite... Yes, go ahead.
I just want to demystify the Ethaclar range for people, because there's an Effaclar H, there's an Effaclar K, there's an Ethaclar Duo, there's an Ethaclar Matte, there's an Ethaclar AI. There's a lot of Effaclars. So people with, maybe we've gone through sort of what types of acne people have. It would be good to maybe match the concern to the Effaclar if you're able to.
Yeah, let's take it from like the early stages up. So if you're starting to notice that your skin is becoming shiny with open pores, so shine, open pores, then the Effaclar product for you is this one. It's called Ethaclar Matte. And Ethaclar Matte is mattifying. So it's a fabulous makeup base. It's one of my favorites actually, because now I'm more kind of oily, shiny, and it's really light. It's a fab makeup base. So that's going to keep your skin matte for up to 8 hours. It also has zinc in there as well to help with the oil control. So that's kind of like the very early first kind of stage. You're just noticing maybe your skin is getting shinier, your pores are getting bigger. Go in with matte to help to control that.
Perfect.
Moving on from matte, okay? So that's kind of like the first stage. Then let's say, for example, the skin is shiny, there's open pores, but you have those blackheads and those retentional bumps under the skin that we spoke about. I don't think you can, I should have took my own makeup off. I have them all here. It's really annoying.
Yeah, mine are more here.
Yeah, so those kind of bumps just under the skin, they're never going to go red, and like they're just kind of made.
They're just awful.
That's Ethaclar K. So Ethaclar K is those bumps underneath your skin. That's it. Okay, and as you mentioned already, Chelsey, a great cleanser for Ethaclar K would be the micro peeling cleansing gel. So they're a really great combination, the two of those.
Yeah.
So Effaclar K is all about renewing the skin, boosting cell renewal, and working to exfoliate the skin on the surface. It has that LHA, so it works to exfoliate the skin on the surface and keep the skin nice and smooth. Then, for example, if your skin...
What does the K stand for?
The K stands for keratolytic, which basically is like the lifting of dead cells.
Oh, okay.
Your cells are like called keratinocytes. So keratolytic, you're basically lifting up those keratinocytes.
I've always wanted to know. So that makes complete sense.
So that's your K. And then you've got your Duo, your Ethaclar Duo Plus, which I think I dropped.
The icon. I don't know anyone who hasn't tried this. Yeah. All of my friends use it.
It's an absolute hero product within our range. Yeah. It's our best seller. And Duo Plus, as the name suggests, it has a dual action. So if you're using Duo Plus, or why would you use this one? You've got shine, open pores, blackheads, but you also have the inflammatory spots. So you've got the papules, the sore ones underneath your skin, or you've got the pustules. And Ethaclar Duo Plus, very, definitely even for teenagers, like this is a great product for teenagers. And the main type of acne teenagers develop is the Acne Vulgaris, whereby you've got that combination of the inflammatory spots, and then you've also got the blackheads. So even if they were using medical, like a topical medical treatment, they can still use Ethaclar Duo Plus. So if the doctor has
like benzoyl peroxide,
just about to say, if a doctor has prescribed for you a benzoyl peroxide and you're using that topically at night, well then you can still use the Ethaclar Duo Plus during the day. So it can be used in conjunction. And also if it's an antibiotic for your acne, again, you can still use Ethaclar Duo Plus during the day. So that's where this one fits in. It's the combination of, you've literally shine, the open pores, the blackheads, but you also have the inflammatory spots on the skin. And it's really, it's great for helping with that inflammation.
Yeah. I think I know, like, this is the perfect entrance for the next product. But I used to use benzoyl peroxide, and I was on tablets, and I found my skin to be very dry.
Yeah.
this obviously I'll let you lead on to is the best product for that. But I would be careful as well with benzoyl peroxide. It's not the best, is it, Janette?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you can avoid using it and use the
Yeah.
Ethaclar Duo Plus instead, use the Ethaclar Duo Plus morning and
Yeah.
evening.
The
Use it
three
twice a
step
day.
kit has
Yeah, yeah.
changed my skin. Um, that's a two-step now, isn't it?
So,
Is that
sorry.
a two-step? The Effaclar set. Is that a two-step now? It used to be three.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that changed my skin dramatically. I came off all
Yeah.
my tablets and stopped the creams then.
And
So highly recommended.
exactly, like for a great range, even if anyone's listening, they've got a teenager at home who has
Yeah,
acne, that's a great range there. Using this cleanser here, the blue one, the Effaclar Gel, and the Effaclar Duo Plus. And like you say, if they are using benzoyl peroxide, they could stop and just use the Effaclar Duo Plus morning and
yeah.
evening instead.
When your skin is less dry and
Yeah,
what's the word? Peely.
yeah, it can be.
Sorry, Jeanette, I took us off on a tangent then.
That's okay.
What's the next letter we'll go through?
So the last moisturizer is the Ethaclar H. So Ethaclar H stands for hydration. And this it was designed to compensate the drying effects of medication. So for example, those who have acne and maybe even a cystic acne that have been to their GP, have exhausted those modes of treatment and have gone to their
Yeah,
dermatologist, and the dermatologist has put them onto isotretinoin, which the generic kind of name, you've got Roaccutane being the
right,
drug.
yeah.
Yeah. So isotretinoin, Roaccutane is what people will probably know it as the most. So Ethaclar H will compensate the drying effects of the medical treatments.
Yeah.
So it gives the skin back comfort. So it's a lovely texture. It's a lovely creamy texture because with that medication, your skin will get dry. And the areas that they'll notice that their skin dries first is like the mucous membranes. So
Yeah,
you'll find in around your nostrils
yeah,
get really dry and the lips can get chapped and start peeling. And for that, actually, we have a great product in the Cicaplast range. There's actually a little lip product in Cicaplast lips. And I always recommend the Cicaplast lips in that instance. And then the
yeah,
Ethaclar H really becomes like the skin barrier because that's what the skin is lacking. It's its barrier. So the Ethaclar H is like compensating for the dryness, compensating for the lack of natural barrier and giving the
yeah,
skin that barrier. But I would also recommend that if you're using, like anyone who's taking that medication, who's taken Roaccutane, your skin is going to be more sensitive to the ultraviolet
yeah,
rays all year round, because you
yeah,
have the UVs all year round. So what I would say in that case is do use an SPF on top. So
yeah,
use your Ethaclar H morning and evening, but during the day, also put an SPF 50 on, just to give your skin the best protection. And within H as well, there's a different cleanser. So we wouldn't, if it's Roaccutane is the drug that you're taking, we don't recommend these.
yeah.
Instead, we've got a different cleansing cream. So it's the Ethaclar H cleansing cream. And again, this is kind of more comforting for the skin. It's a creamy texture, and that will be ideal, much, much better.
Lisa's got a great question for you, Jeanette.
Yeah.
Which one would you recommend for maskne, spots, blackheads, and oily but really irritated too? Would it be H or is that too rich?
No, I wouldn't recommend H in that instance because you really want to tackle the spots and the blackheads because you're not on medication. So you want to tackle the
Yeah,
spots and the blackheads, but you're probably a little bit dehydrated as well. So for you, Lisa, I would definitely be recommending Ethaclar Serum. And just to give you that additional hydration, also the Hyla B5.
yeah. Jeanette, I wanted to double check. So there's nothing in H to sort of stop your skin breaking out. It's just a pure barrier, sort of rebuilder, is
Exactly.
it?
Yeah, it contains like
Yeah.
ceramides, for example. So
Yeah.
ceramides being oil, so it's basically giving the skin back what it's lacking. So, and it's rebuilding that barrier of the skin, but it's not actually targeting the acne. So it's just
Yeah.
compensating the drying effect of the medical treatment.
Yeah. That
So
makes
to
perfect
actually,
sense.
when you want to more kind of say target the imperfections on the skin, the spots, the blackheads, that's where Duo and K come into play.
And I probably shouldn't have, but you know what I'm like, Janette. I'm always experimenting. This week I've been using Duo in the evening and then layering H on
Okay.
top. Is that bad? But my skin feels so soft.
Is your skin quite dry, Chelsey? I will
Yeah,
probably, if your skin is quite dry and you're getting comfort from it and it's working for you, continue to do it. It's not
yeah,
something I generally do recommend for people to do, but if it's working for you, you know,
yeah,
continue with it. So you're
yeah.
actually
It's just a bit,
you're putting Duo on and H on top of it.
yeah,
You
layering.
just might find
Only
after,
because, you know,
yeah.
like you said, it's just my skin is so dry, but I'm so sick of getting these pustules. And I'm just like, what can I do? Because I need to treat it, but I also need my skin to be
Yeah.
hydrated because I wear makeup, as we all saw in the beginning. And
And
you
do
know, you
you,
can't tell when your skin is dehydrated.
yeah, do
Um,
you stick, Chelsey, with a routine, or because you work across so many different brands, do you find that it
that
really
is
difficult?
exactly it.
Yeah,
I do find it so difficult. I'm going to be honest though. A lot of your products are in
in
my
your routine.
routine,
So
but not Ethaclar.
what
It's
I
the
would,
vitamin C serum and the retinol
yeah,
from our last
what
video.
I would probably be suggesting more so then for you, Chelsey, in that instance is why don't you instead cleanse with Ethaclar H? So cleanse with Ethaclar H in the
Okay.
daytime, put on the Hyla B5 serum,
Yeah.
and on top of that, if you're using Duo Plus, use Duo Plus on top. And at night time, then go and use the Effaclar serum with the Hyla B5 on top, but
Yeah,
use
I'm
a
definitely going to give
creamy
that a go.
cleanser.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a go. I think,
And like it's, you know, even like when you're treating all skin, but especially when it comes to oily and acne prone skin, less is more. And
yeah,
try to put less on the skin. Our skin only absorbs small
yeah,
amounts as well. So my kind of fear for you when you're using Duo and H on top is that you're just putting too much on your
imprisonment.
skin.
Yeah,
And okay, a week or so of doing it, it might be okay, but in 3 weeks time, you might start to notice that maybe the skin isn't, you know, looking as well, and you might even get more blemishes
yeah.
because you're putting too
It's not
much
a quick
on.
fix. No, definitely.
You'll,
I can't wait to try the serum, Jeanette.
yes, yes, I can't wait for you to try it, and you have to
I
let me know.
know. I'm
Um,
tempted to try and do a review on the blog now.
yes, do for sure. I was
Yeah,
speaking with a dermatologist that we work with a lot, and she was saying to me she's using it. All of the like
yeah,
doctors, nurses in the clinic, they're all using it. That it's just been a godsend due to
yeah.
so many people have a maskne.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try it. You've twisted my arm. It doesn't take a lot, but
And try as well for you, Chelsey, to keep that routine for like a good 28 days.
I
Like that's
know
really
it's
important as
annoying.
well, because if you think about it, your skin is on a cycle of 28 days. It takes 28 days to renew. So if you
Yeah,
start and then you stop after a few days or a couple of weeks and then you go again, you're never truly getting the results
no,
that you should be. So if you can be strict with yourself and say, okay,
yeah,
for the next 28 days, this is my routine and this is all I'm going to use. And by the end of that, you'll definitely see more benefits. And then that's
yeah.
what kind of spurs us on to say, okay, I'm going to stick with it because I'm seeing the results.
No, definitely. I've got to be more committed. Definitely.
Yes. Um, do you want to try this mask?
I'm desperate to try this mask.
Chelsey, this is so fab. Oh, I love it. It's one of my, if I had some cotton here right now, I would do it myself.
Next time.
So I think this is brilliant as a deep cleanse for the skin. It has kaolin. Kaolin's really good for absorbing impurities. So you're going to literally apply a thin layer to the skin.
There we go. It's very, it's like a traditional clay mask, isn't it?
It is. But you've also, obviously, you've got the kaolin, you've got the thermal water in there. That's within all of our products. But it's really, really creamy and very comforting on the skin. And actually, what we don't want to do with this mask is we don't want to leave it on for like 20 minutes and let it set really hard. It actually only needs to be left on the skin for 5 minutes. Within that time, it will have done all that it needs to do. And then we just remove it with tepid water. Because
it smells like green tea.
Yeah, it has. It's that, I think it's that like kaolin smell, that clay smell. There's definitely no green tea in there. But isn't it just, even applying it, it's fabulous. It's so soft.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, from my experience, don't like clay masks because they feel tight and they dry. But I'm not, it feels like just putting on quite a thick moisturizer.
Exactly. And it has these little they call them cellulo beads, and these will help to like absorb the excess oil and impurities without having that over drying effect on the skin, because we don't want to do that. We don't want to dry out the skin. And also that's why I was saying you don't want to leave clay masks on too long, because if they're very strong, what they can do is shut off your oil gland. So then your skin, initially you think, great, my skin is nice and matte, and then about 48 hours later you get this surge of oil back onto the skin. And that's what we want to avoid. So that's why it's such a nice one, and why it's more creamy as opposed to just this kind of hard clay. So leave it 5 minutes, then some tepid water. We'll introduce that back onto the skin, and then when you massage that in, it's going to come up lovely and creamy on the skin, and your skin will start to feel really comfortable again. Rinse away and just pat dry.
How often would you recommend using this for people with maskne, acne? Would it be different?
Yeah, good question. So I tend to say twice a week. If, like me, you have got quite a lot of open pores, especially here, sometimes I just use it on my T-zone, just where I've got like really open pores. So I might just use it localized on my T-zone once a week and then put it everywhere else twice a week. But it's a really good deep cleanse for the skin.
Yeah, it feels so cooling, really similar to the peeling wash actually. It's like somebody's blown cool air in my face.
On your face. Nice. Yeah, it's lovely. And you can as well, why I think it's good when you do have acne, because it is an inflammatory condition, that can be relief. Like you put that on and it is like a you know, it's nice, a nice relief for the skin. And you can also spray like the thermal water over it. Some people I know do that as well. And that's even nice to use afterwards as well if the skin is inflamed. So that's the mask. Also, Chelsey, we do have Zero Zinc, which is a product I did want to mention as well, because I think for maskne, this is also a great product, because this is basically a zinc and water solution, salt and water solution. It's antibacterial and it's also hydrating and mattifying for the skin. So what I do, even the times when I have been out with my mask, and because I'm oily naturally, I spray my skin first with Zero Zinc, and I then put my mask on. And if I was wearing that for like a full day, I would definitely have this with me. And throughout the day when I take it off, I'd spray.
And it's so good because we have the minis as well.
Yeah, brilliant. If you have the minis,
well, I need to check that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but back in the day, we were the first retailer to bring Zero Zinc to the UK.
That's right.
I know. Caroline Hirons was begging Rakesh to bring it over, so he managed to sort it with your team, which is amazing. So it's a very special product for Essential.
And it's such a brilliant product. And like for maskne, it really is ideal as a kind of on the go product.
Yeah.
That, you know, you can literally spray it on the face throughout the day, take off the mask, give your skin a spritz, and you've got that salt, that water working there to be antibacterial, but also has hydrating benefits from the skin. So it's a win-win. It's a great one. I even recommend it a lot for acne as well.
I need to try it on my back, definitely.
And that's also because people might find as well that acne is kind of getting maybe for them a little bit worse of late, because if they can't shower at the gym, so if they're going to the gym and then they're getting into their car, they're sitting in their sweaty gym clothes until they get home. So you've got that excess like sweat sitting on the skin before you shower. So that's even, I know, delightful, Chelsea. But that's even good in that instance as well, that just like as soon as you're done, spray before, spray after, and then when you get home you can shower and use the micro peeling gel if you have acne. So someone's just asking, I saw it there, what is acne? And it is acne on your back.
Lisa's saying she thinks she bought the wrong mist. She bought the Toleraine one.
The Toleriane Ultra 8, this one.
Ah, one of my favorites. That's in my handbag at the moment, actually.
Yeah, and that was the other one that I had to hand to talk about as well, because I know we've talked about maskne and the different Ethaclar products and so on. But also from wearing masks, the skin could be dry, irritated as well. And this is just, you use it, Chelsea. I've seen you with this before. It's a moisturizer on the go. So it's not just like a spritz. It's actually a moisturizer in a bottle. It's as good. When we did well, not me, but when the labs did the clinical test for this, it was as effective as a moisturizer at boosting the hydration. So it is a moisturizer in a bottle. So that's also another great one to have on the go.
And I think everyone, since Caroline Hyron's book launched, that's like on every other page, the Valerian spray. So yeah, it's having it won't stop having a moment. Yeah, it won't stop. I'm not sure how long I've had this mask on now, Janette.
You can take it off,
No! I don't want to bear all, but I guess I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna take it off with the micellar water, just because I haven't got any clean water to hand.
Yeah.
What would you recommend after I take it off to go to bed in?
So obviously, if you had the serum, that's what I would be recommending for you.
Yeah,
but
I haven't got that one.
Then I think best to go, because have you any Hylo B5 serum?
I do, I do have.
I think we should use Hylo B5 and then use the Effaclar Duo Plus.
You know what? I actually need to check that I have some left. I think. Do you know what I do have, Janette, though? Probably not the Dermalegro.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I ran out of B5 this week. My French pharmacy list is very long, as you can tell.
Well, if you have the Derm Allergo, that will be absolutely fine, because again, it is hydrating, but the Derm Allegro serum is for like super sensitive skin. I can't remember if we talked about this one before, Chelsea.
Yeah, we did when we talked about actives.
Yes, that's when. And it contains neurosensine. And neurosensine is that really soothing and calming ingredient that we use if the Toleriane Ultra range. It's used within that whole Toleriane Ultra range. This is your SOS serum for a skin that is really inflamed, really irritated, and this is the serum to use for that. It's so good. One of the girls in my team, it's literally her go-to. I've lost track of how many bottles she's after using over the last 6 months. I
can imagine it's amazing for holiday as well, if you just get some severe sunburn.
And just to instantly like soothe and calm everything down. I also recommend it for people who have rosacea. And again, rosacea is an inflammatory skin condition. So if you have rosacea and now you're wearing face coverings as well, that condition can get exacerbated. So that condition then can get worse and you can get more flare-ups. And in that case, the Toleriane Derm Aloe Go Serum is a fabulous product to incorporate into your routine.
I think I can't really see very well, but I think it's all off. Am I looking more matte?
I know you didn't get to like rinse it with water, but do you feel really fresh after that?
Definitely. My skin feels like there's a breath of fresh air. It feels cool, it doesn't feel hot.
Yeah.
It feels lovely and clean. Lovely and clean. So I'm going to go in with this serum now. Again, I just love the colour of this product.
I know. It's even the colour is calming, isn't it? It's such a nice blue. It's just a really calming. So take a pipette of this.
I'm just going to press it in.
Then perfect.
Dip it on.
And then you're going to use the Ethaclar Duo. So just a recap, Duo is going to be works for both the blackheads and the inflammatory spots on the skin.
Joel said there's a bit on my chin. I can't see it.
Can't see.
You've got eagle eyes, Joel. I'm sure it's fine. And I'm using Duo today.
And Duo.
Oh, I can get straight into bed after this, Janette. It's pretty much my life now.
Yeah, you're all set and ready.
Again, this is such a lightweight moisturizer that works so hard. You never feel like it does, but you wake up in the morning or after a long day, and your skin, the texture and everything is just it's 1,000 times better. So I can't wait to see what I look like tomorrow. Fingers crossed these are gone. But it's just come to the end of my cycle, Janette, and that's when everything tends to go whoop.
So that's why I think if you can be really strict on yourself now, stick with the same routine for the full cycle, you'll definitely see an improvement next month, and that will just keep getting better.
Definitely.
Because that's like, we don't want to wait until the spots come to tackle them, especially if it is kind of, it's hormone related, I know what it's linked to. And then when they come, we just like zap them. We want to actually be working with our skin the whole way through to actually prevent it from happening in the first place.
No, definitely. But everything looks a lot better anyway. So thank you for talking me through it.
Your skin looks really calm.
Yeah. Not aggressive. It looks more even than when I took all of it off in the beginning. So that's a good sign. What is the time? I think we're about to go over to that, and so I don't want to take up too much. Is there anything you sort of want to summarize about acne, maskne before we close up?
Yeah, really what I would say, look at the key kind of tips, the main things to do is make sure you're cleansing your skin really well, both morning and evening. If you're not double cleansing and you're wearing masks for long periods of time throughout the day, just double cleanse. It only takes a couple of minutes extra. Change your mask every day as well. Really, really important to do. And then really the hero for maskne is going to be the Effaclar Serum. Think of it as like the maskne, it's superficial, more superficial, which is why this is so good, because the whole idea is to exfoliate the skin and get rid of the blockages on the surface. So definitely the Ethaclar Serum is going to be a really hero key product for you during this time. And yeah, like just one more thing, it's just Zero Zinc throughout the day, take your mask off, give your skin a spray with Zero Zinc throughout the day as well, just to help keep that kind of bacteria at bay.
Yeah. What was I going to say, Janette? I was going to ask you something. It's just blown my mind. It's literally just got wow, my hair looks crazy. Oh, what was it about? It'll come back to me and I'll just have to message you, Janette.
No problem.
I can't think of what it was. That's so frustrating. Maskne, serum, something related. It's going to come back
Done.
to me and I'll have to message you.
As soon as this ends, it'll come straight to you. You'll have to message me.
I will. That's going to bug me, but I can't, it'll come back to me. Something about maskne. Changing masks.
Change your masks, yeah.
That's right. With the Ethaclar Serum, Janette, is there any sort of stat, like 7 days to better skin, or is there like any time period around it, or just 28 days?
It's 28 days, really and truly. Keep a good routine for that full 28 days. That's when you'll really start to see like the best results. Even within that time in our clinical studies with the serum, like we saw a reduction of 45% in the red spots on the skin, which is absolutely brilliant. And a reduction of like up to, I think it was minus 21% with the blackheads on the skin as well. So definitely, look, routine is so important. And sticking to it, especially when you're trying to manage something like this.
Definitely. Oh, thank you so much. It's been amazing. I can't wait to watch this back and type it all up.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me. So happy.
No.
Hopefully for people, we have kind of like demystified that Effaclar range.
Definitely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of these sort of tips and tricks are shared across social as well, so people can see there too.
Great. Thanks.
Oh,
Chelsey.
we'll have a lovely evening. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Actually,
yes.
we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about expert aging with Vichy. So yes, I look forward to coming next week. And fingers crossed, I will not have to take my makeup off.
No.
To be fair, I did it to myself. So
you did. Your skin looks great. It looks great.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, enjoy your evening and I'll see you next week.
You too. Take care, Chelsey. Bye.
Bye. Bye.